everybody, welcome back to day 5 of my 13 days of Halloween. Is there anything more scarier than an overloaded craft room? I don't think so. I did clear out this space on the floor last night and got rid of a whole entire bin bag full of stuff. So I'm still making progress on the decluttering situation, but we are still living like a bit of a hoarder, what can I say? Anyway, so this evening, again, another crafting evening. All of today, what have I been up to actually? I went to M&S, I got some of those gingerbread cookies. They are divine, the gingerbread and white chocolate ones. Have you seen them all over TikTok and Instagram? Because if you have and you think, oh, they're probably overrated, they are not. They are fantastic. They're like the most softest, gooeyest gingerbread cookie you've ever had. It's like having one of those perfect soft gingerbread men. You know, but with big chunks of white chocolate in. Anyway, I then went on a big autumn walk in the woods. I then came back. I filmed some more for a vlog that I've been filming. I filmed a little bit of like an unboxing review because I got sent these jumpers and some leggings from a brand called Halara, and I put that into a video. That's now exporting, so I edited all that, and here we are. I'm waiting for a Chinese takeaway to arrive, but in the meantime I thought I would get out my craft supplies and get started on a craft DIY that I've had in my head. So I actually don't know how this is going to turn out, okay? I actually don't. But I know what I want, and I figured I have a few cardboard boxes here that I folded up that I can get started on if I stick them together. So basically, my plan is, you know this kind of vintage ghost by Johanna Parker? This one. To make one of these in 3D, but like a big one, like this sort of big. Yeah, that seems about right. And then have like fabric streamers coming down from it. So a big 3D ghost head with fabric, almost like acting like a wreath, but a big decoration. I think on the front door that would look amazing. My neighbours are putting me to shame. I had the little witch wreath that I made the other day, but I put it out there and it doesn't look big enough for the space. So we need to do something bigger and better. So I thought, let's get out the cardboard and get to it. So jump along for the ride. We'll see how this turns out. This was going to be going to the recycling centre anyway, this cardboard, so I thought I may as well just use that. Not quite big enough for what I want, but I thought I could just tape 2 pieces together and that'll sort of be the shape that I wanted. This tape will do, just decorated tape. I used this the other day to paint my wall with. I say the other day, the time has gone by very fast and I need to like actually sort out this room and figure out all of my desk situation out the back, but we move, it's fine, we'll get there eventually. There. Okay, so then that white part will come up there. That up a little bit more. Nice. Perfect. To reinforce this, I'm just gonna put a little bit extra cardboard on. Let's get back to this box. Like I said, I'm gonna be making this 3D anyway. I just think these will help to reinforce that seam there, just as a back piece. I'm gonna be sticking loads of stuff to this to make it 3D. And because this is gonna go outside, I'm actually gonna use, right, resin. Dipped in something, almost like a paper mache. I've used the technique before and I found a small bit of resin left over from a previous project. Not something I would typically use. I would typically like to use like paper mache, like actually, but I may as well use it up rather than throwing away the resin, you know? It's just gonna be wasted completely if I don't use it. So for this project, it's more sustainable for me to use it. But if you're gonna recreate this, definitely use like plastirol or paper mache, something a bit more sustainable, okay? Don't do as I do, do as I say. There we go. We have reinforced that so we no longer have a floppy head, and now I need to pack this out to a 3D shape. I'm not going to do 3D for the eyes and stuff like that. I think that's going to be a little bit too tricky for this project. It's got to be quite a simple one. So just like a 3D mounded head, and we'll paint all the details on. So I need to find some rubbish just to pack that out. Probably some just like paper, some scrap paper, and just start bulking it all out. I'm not sure if I've reached peak commitment or peak craziness at this point, but it's 10 p.m. now on a Saturday night. I've come out to my garage. I'm sat on my garage floor because I am going to get this piece done. So I did get all of the rubbish on there. As you can see, straight up rubbish. But you can kind of see the vision, right? So my plan is, I've got some tissue paper here. Cut this up into little strips and paper mache it on, but instead of using glue and water mix, I'm going to use straight up fast cast resin, because I have this resin here which I found in my craft room this week that is about to go off. If you didn't know, resin does have a shelf life on it. This is very close to just the turning point and I won't be able to use it again, especially this one. This one does go off and then it gets little bubbles in it and you just can't use it. Like, water ends up expelling out of it. It's no good after, I'm going to say about 6 months, this one. I don't know if it does actually have a lifespan on it, but probably say somewhere like use within 3 months or something. But I find, oh no, it says use within 6 months. I was going to say it's about 6 months. So we're going to use that. And yeah, like I said, this is very much a project that I'm doing because I have all of this stuff just left over. Paper mache is going to work fine. Plaster, you know, like roll plaster stuff, that probably would work really well as well, but this is just what I have, so we're going to go for it. I'm also hoping it works out. I don't actually know still at this point, so, but hopefully if you're seeing this then it did work out. But yeah, I'm going to put my mask on. I'm going to get to mixing on the floor out here just because the ventilation overnight is going to be better. It does set in about 10 minutes, I'm not going to lie, and then fully cures I think in an hour, so you have to work really, really fast. So it might be a case of doing a couple of coats, but we'll get to it. Obviously I'm not going to be able to speak with my mask on, but it's better to protect my lungs than talk to a camera. You can see what I'm doing, so I'll give you a little bit of music.
I'll let you go, just need some time. At your own pace, you need to find your way. I know now you'll never change your mind for something that matters to me. You do not know what I have in mind. I packed our bags, we'll be on our way.
Okay, next day now, look at this. I mean, to be honest, it could look a little bit neater, but we just worked with what we had. It's fully cured now. Obviously, I've left it overnight. Listen to this. Rock hard. Beautiful, just the shape I wanted. I thought about putting a layer of paper mache over this, but I thought actually it's just going to go outside anyway, and if I do paper mache it's going to be ruined, and that was the point of doing the resin part that I had and using that up, because I thought that would maybe work better outside. So I'm just going to paint it straight up. Could it have a better finish if I do a paper mache layer? Yes, but we're going with the flow. It's a Halloween decoration, it's not going to be out for that long. Let's just get cracking, shall we? Paint it with acrylic, that will do it. Right, black outline is done. I think that's definitely saved the shape of it. I tried to go like how it actually looks rather than the texture, because me doing a straight line around the edges, obviously it looked wibbly wobbly then from the front, so I sort of just looked at it, crossed my eyes and went with that, and I think it's shaping up okay. I think we can get away with having to put a flat base on this. So now obviously I need to move on to the actual face. I'm a little bit nervous about this. Yes, I am. So I might actually just get a pencil out a second and do a little rough sketch of that and then just go to town. So I need a mouth down here, big open mouth, and I'm using that Johanna Parker ghost that I shared yesterday as my reference still, because I love that. I think that little ghosty is perfection. So round oval mouth, we've got a circle of blush here, and then the eyeball comes around like that. Eye up like that with a little semicircle pupil, and the eyebrows in here are quite high, like a little shocked baby. Okay, that'll do well. Now I just need to replicate that on this side. This is always the trouble, isn't it, making it symmetrical? But we'll do that upside down. I always find tying my pieces upside down helps with this step. So just going off that one eyeball. I could use a template, that would probably be easier, but I am very much winging this project, as you may have guessed by now. So another eyebrow. Perfect. Oh, and a nose. Almost forgot the nose. About there. Okay, just gonna go straight in with the black paint and hope for the best. It is the next morning. I have it ready. Apologies I didn't post the video yesterday, but it had to wait, okay? I had to finish this off and bring it all to you in one video. I'm not one of those put it into two-type video people typically, if I can help it. So day 5, we're still on it, all right? I do apologise, but you know, it was Sunday. It was fine to not post on the day of rest. But grand reveal. Here's the back. As you can see, I attached the bits of fabric that I said that I wanted to do. These are actually just old curtains. I found them in my unit upstairs and I just ripped off kind of 1.5 inch pieces. They're very like tatty looking, which is just what I was going for. And then I found an orange curtain as well, like this burnt orange colour. So I ripped off part of that lining too. This one here is like slightly discoloured. It got discoloured by the sun, which is why I was getting rid of those curtains anyway. But are you ready? 3, 2, 1. It doesn't look like a jellyfish with these, yes, but I'm not mad at it because look at its face. Yes, here is my ghost, made entirely out of rubbish and things I was throwing away anyway, including the expired resin. I mean, the paint was good, but I mean, the trash inside was, I literally digged out my bin for goodness sake. These here were old curtains that I've upcycled, and then, yeah, just tissue paper on there, which I could kind of no longer use because it was for my old branding anyway. I used craft felt on the back, which I have had since before I lived here, so like 9-10 years. I hate craft felt, I hate working with it, so it was the perfect thing to put on the back, and that just sealed everything in nicely. But here we are, look at it. Isn't it so fun? And yeah, it cost me £0 and 0 pence to make. If I was to buy stuff for this, like I've been saying throughout the whole thing, I would probably use the plaster rolls. You know those rolls that you can buy them in Hobbycraft and stuff like that. They look like bandages, but they're covered in plaster. I would use that instead of the resin, or I would use paper mache, maybe have that inside, and then use a couple of coats of like sealer on this. To be honest, I was going to use a matte finish sealer that I have for fences and like garden gates and stuff out in my garage to go on top of this so it could go outside, but I think this will be fine because I did use the resin and because I've used acrylic paint. I think it's going to hold up just for a little bit at least out in the weather. I mean, we're halfway through October now, so it hasn't got to stay out for that long, but here it is. Here's its long wibbly long kind of fabricy ends, and yeah, I made it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this. I'm off now to go and film another one so we don't get caught out again, but thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you very soon for another one.